What's a soulmate?
It's like a best friend, but more. It's the one person in the world who knows you better than anyone else. It's someone who makes you a better.
That's mine right there. Yeah, I own you and you own me. I will kill everybody in here about your ass. Please understand that.
At 29, Kenoshia was building something real, her catering business, Chef K on wheels, grinding, planning, dreaming forward. She was already thinking about her 30s, the era when all the sacrifice is supposed to finally make sense. The glow-up decade, the harvest season. Sadly, that future had an expiration date. On October 2nd, deputies from the Greenville County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to a home on Batty Street in Greenville. Inside, they found Kenoshia unresponsive, her body marked by at least one gunshot wound. 29 years old. No heartbeat. No next chapter. The woman they arrested wasn't a stranger hiding in the shadows. It was 33-year-old Deandra James, her fiancé, the lady she'd been with since 2017. 8 years of shared bills, shared dreams, shared businesses, shared beds. 8 years of building. They were supposed to be married on March 29, 2025. That day came and went quietly. No ceremony, no photos, no explanations, just silence, the kind that always shows up right before everything falls apart. And now, barely 6 months after that missed wedding date, barely 2 weeks after balloons and birthday wishes, Kenoshia was gone forever. While Deandra James sat in the Greenville County Detention Center, charged with murder, another engagement ring turned into evidence, another future buried under police tape, another woman who didn't make it to the life she was promised. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads. Kenoshia was born and raised in Florence, South Carolina. Her parents, Gregory and Melissa Wheeler, raised a daughter who was warm, ambitious, and had a gift for bringing people together. Friends and family called her Nosha. From a young age, Kenoshia loved to cook. She learned recipes in her grandmother's kitchen, recipes that had been passed down through generations. For Kenoshia, cooking was more than just making food. It was how she connected with people. As she got older, that passion turned into a business. Kenoshia started Chef K on Wheels, a catering company that served weddings, birthday parties, and local events throughout the Greenville area. She had a bigger goal too. She wanted to own a food truck one day and travel from city to city with her grandmother's recipes. By 2025, Chef K on Wheels was growing. Wheeler was building a reputation in Greenville. She was 29 years old and her business was taking off. In 2016, she met Deandra James. Deandra was 25 years old when she and Kenoshia met at Honda, where they both worked. Deandra was confident, charismatic, and had big ambitions of her own. She was driven and always thinking about the next business venture. They started dating in March 2017. Kenoshia focused on her catering business. Deandra ran TCD 360 Experience, a family business that provided event services and creative projects. She was also launching a podcast called South Carolina Talk. The South has something to say meant to celebrate Southern voices and highlight small businesses. They supported each other's work. They showed up for each other's events, and they posted about their relationship constantly on social media, anniversary celebrations, photos together, declarations of love. Then Kenoshia turned 29 on September 17, 2025. Her mother posted a birthday tribute. Friends flooded the comments with well wishes. Deandra didn't post anything. No happy birthday message, no throwback photo, no public declaration of love, nothing. This was the first time in 8 years Deandra hadn't acknowledged Kenoshia's birthday online. The woman who used to call Kenoshia her heart in human form, who posted about their relationship constantly, said nothing. People close to them started to wonder, were they still together? Had they broken up? Kenoshia and Deandra were still living together, still running their businesses. From what anyone could see, there was still a couple. By early October, there were no public signs of trouble, no police reports, no restraining orders, no documented incidents of domestic violence, no friends coming forward about fights or abuse. On the night of October 2nd, 2025, that changed. That evening, Kenoshia and Deandra went out to Swagger Bar and Grill, one of their regular spots. People who saw them that night said they were laughing, having drinks, acting like any other couple out together. Sometime after 10 p.m., they left and went home. According to the Greenville County Sheriff's Office, an argument broke out between them after they got home. The details of what was said or what triggered it have not been made public. At approximately 10:30 p.m., deputies received a call and responded to the home on Bay Street. The initial call was reportedly for a cardiac arrest. When deputies arrived, they found 29-year-old Kenoshia unresponsive with at least one gunshot wound. The person they arrested was 33-year-old Deandra. They'd been together for 8 years, built a life, music together, got engaged in 2020. James was charged with murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. She was taken into custody, denied bond, and transported to the Greenville County Detention Center, where she's being held awaiting trial. News of what happened spread quickly. As word got out across Greenville County, the response was immediate. Friends and family took to social media. Posts honoring Kenoshia started appearing. Photos of her smiling. Photos of her cooking. Comments came from people whose events she catered, from childhood friends, from those who watched her build Chef K on wheels. Online, people were divided. Some were speculating. Others were defending both women. Some were frustrated with all the assumptions being made. Kenoshia's family was mourning the loss of a daughter, a sister, someone they'd raised, someone who built a business and had plans for the future. Deandra's family was dealing with their own devastation. The woman who'd been running businesses and building a future was now facing murder charges. In the days following Kenoshia's death, more details came out. According to law enforcement, the argument between Kenoshia and Deandra escalated after they returned home from Swagger Bar and Grill. During that confrontation, a weapon was used.
This upstate woman remains at the Greenville County Detention Center. It's after deputies say she shot and killed her partner on Thursday night on Beatty Street. 33-year-old Deandra James is charged with the murder of 29 Kenoshia Wheeler. Now, the sheriff's office says the two women were arguing before James shot Wheeler. And tonight, Fox Carolina's Alexa Urbach went out to the neighborhood where this happened, where residents say they're still shocked.
The porch light left on at 1 Beatty Street. A well-loved grill still standing, and bright pink flowers full of life, but inside, no one's home. This once charming house, now the scene of a deadly shooting.
It's a shock, really. It's, right close to us, so very sad.
Sharon Lamont lives down the road from where 29-year-old Kenoshia Wheeler was shot to death. The suspected shooter, her partner, 33-year-old Deandra James. Some people say they saw deputy and ambulance lights until the early morning, but Lamont says she didn't hear anything on Thursday night.
No, not a thing.
This is the house where law enforcement officials say Wheeler was shot and killed at Thursday night. It sits on the corner of a very quiet residential street, and neighbors say nothing like this has ever happened here before.
The sheriff's department, they think we're like a shining diamond in the community. When we first came here, there was a lot of trafficking, drugs involved, had drug houses and so forth.
But over the years, Lamont says things have changed.
It's more friendly. A lot of people walk through here.
One neighbor said they saw two women often grilling out at 1 Beatty Street. And while many didn't know Wheeler or James,
I'm really sad to hear that, and I'm sorry it happened.
Investigators processed the home carefully. Evidence was photographed, logged, and removed piece by piece. Shell casings, the weapon, items that hours earlier had been part of a shared domestic space, now treated as artifacts of a crime scene. Witnesses were interviewed, timelines reconstructed, movements tracked. What stood out most wasn't what they found, but what they didn't. There was no documented history of domestic violence between Kenoshia and Deandra. No prior police calls. No restraining orders. No paper trail of escalation. On the surface, there was nothing that screamed this was coming, and that absence became part of the story. But absence doesn't mean peace. It often just means silence. In the days after Kenoshia's death, friends began speaking more carefully, quietly, hesitantly. Some mentioned Deandra's temper, not explosive in public, not sloppy or uncontrolled, but simmering, a kind of contained anger managed around groups, masked during events, but harder to hide in private moments. Rage doesn't always shout. Sometimes it waits. People began replaying memories, conversations that felt off in hindsight, tension that never fully surfaced, moments where Kenosha seemed tired in ways she hadn't before, the kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from work, but from managing someone else's emotions. One online commenter captured the confusion a lot of people felt. They went out to have a good time, came home, and everything fell apart. After 7 years, you think they knew how to de-escalate. That assumption that time equals safety is one of the most dangerous myths in relationships. Length doesn't guarantee stability. History doesn't prevent harm. And familiarity doesn't neutralize rage. Alcohol was mentioned repeatedly. They had been drinking that night. Whether it lowered inhibitions, fueled resentment, or simply removed whatever restraint had been holding things together isn't clear. What is clear is that something shifted between the car ride home and the front door closing behind them. And once it did, there was no pause button. Domestic violence doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes there are no bruises, no broken phones, no frantic texts to friends. Sometimes it hides behind shared businesses, matching outfits, and social media posts about love and partnership. Sometimes it waits until the moment control feels threatened. The missed wedding date in March lingered heavily in the background. A public engagement, a public date, then nothing. No explanation, no celebration, just quiet erasure. For some, that became the clearest sign that something had changed long before October. If Kenosha wanted to leave, if she was emotionally pulling away, reconsidering the future, imagining a life without Deandra, then this story shifts from an argument to a reckoning. Control doesn't always look like isolation or physical force. Sometimes it looks like entitlement, like ownership, like the belief that someone else's life plans require your permission. What happened inside that house may never be fully known. There were only 2 people there. One is gone. The other will tell her version in court. Kenoshia Wheeler lost her life. Deandra James is now facing the possibility of spending decades, or the rest of her life, behind bars. The contrast is brutal. One future erased, another defined forever by a single night. Online, the pages that once showcased menus, plated dishes, and smiling clients became memorials. Photos of Kenoshia cooking, laughing, serving food with pride. Vigils were held. Candles burned low into the night. Flowers appeared outside the home on Batty Street. Someone left a handwritten note near the door. You fed us with your love. We will never forget you. Kenoshia was vibrant, goal-oriented, loving. A woman who believed in building, not just businesses, but people. She believed in staying, in helping, in giving someone time to become better. And sometimes, that good heart stays too long. May Kenoshia Ivonne Wheeler rest in peace.